Fight fans worship those who make fighting look easy. The ones who make even the best fighters look foolish. These men are so evasive that they seem untouchable throughout most of their career. They could taunt and ridicule their opponents, making them angry. When they win so dominantly, their opponents are humiliated. Pundits would often call them disrespectful, overrated and arrogant. Some fans would watch the Untouchables just to hope that one day they'll be knocked out, and some of them do eventually get knocked down or knocked out. But when these untouchable fighters are in their element, they fight like gods. Most fans love their taunts and psychological warfare, as they are the most entertaining type of fighters. Tactically, they are the most intelligent fighters in history. But why exactly do they fight like this? They often put their hands down and chin up, inviting the opponent to hit them. But more often than not, it's their opponent who gets knocked out. Fight fans, welcome back to another episode of Lawrence Kane Striking Breakdowns. In this episode, we feature the most untouchable fighters of all time. Across Muay Thai and MMA, these are the most evasive fighters in history. In Muay Thai, there are several untouchable fighters. It's a myth that Muay Thai fighters are rigid and stationary. That is just one style of Muay Thai. There are many evasive technicians. The most evasive champions come from the legendary Muay Thai camp Jockey gym. These fighters include Saenchai, Lerdsila, and Samart. All three of these fighters fought past 40 years old, a rare feat since they started fighting professionally as children. These legends are able to rack up hundreds of fights throughout their career and remain healthy because they simply do not accumulate damage. At Jockey Gym, fighters are trained in Western boxing and they master striking in both stances. By integrating boxing with Muay Thai in both stances, the result is being super well rounded and having a genius fight IQ. This training style becomes so advanced that they can see everything coming from their opponents. These fighters are in fact multiple steps ahead of every move the opponent makes. They understand the logical sequences of each strike and the exact way the body moves. By having better fundamentals than their opponents, and being many levels beyond their opponents in tactics and strategy, there is nothing the opponent can do to truly threaten them. That means they are safe to play, and the opponents become their food. It's no surprise that Samart, after conquering the world of Muay Thai, would go on to capture an Olympic gold medal in boxing, beating the last man to beat Floyd Mayweather. Years later, he discovered a prodigy named Saenchai, and nurtured him to be the greatest of this era. Now, how did Saenchai become so untouchable stylistically? Saenchai himself was a right-handed fighter that converted into southpaw. A little known fact is that he also had 5 professional boxing fights and captured a boxing title in Asia. His resume speaks for itself. Saenchai is now on an unprecedented 65 fight win streak and shows no signs of nearing retirement at 42 years old. Then there's Lerdsila, their even more ridiculous teammate. Lerdsila is arguably the most evasive fighter of all time. He can put his hands completely down and his opponent wouldn't be able to do anything about it. If his opponent tries to do a spinning kick on him, he can just walk away from it and make them look like a fool. Lerdsila does everything so gracefully that anyone who watches him will be in awe. Everyone in China loves him because he's so fun to watch, and as you can tell from the crowd, the ladies love him even more. Lerdsila can rest his leg on the opponent, waiting for them to make a move, only to deny them as soon as they move. He can also jump over sweep attempts, as if he was simply skipping rope. But perhaps the most insane of all this is his leanbacks. Leanbacks are nothing special in elite Muay Thai, but Lerdzila's leanbacks are so parallel to the ground that he can evade not just high kicks but also middle kicks this way. Of course, we can't go through this Muay Thai list without also mentioning Samart Payakaroon, widely regarded as the greatest of all time. Samart was an even more advanced version of other prolific Jockey gym fighters. Not only did he capture the most prestigious titles in Muay Thai, but he also did it in boxing. In boxing, he was absolutely effortless in dodging 15 punches and then scoring the one-shot knockout punch to defend his WBC world title. I mean, just look at him inviting the world champion Juan Meza to charge at him, only to flawlessly defend every strike. The moment he had a chance to punch, he knocked out his A-class opponent. Samart's talent is highlighted even more by how he barely trained relative to his peers. Simply watch how he's completely unfazed by a spinning kick to know how brilliant he was. It takes a true master of distance to know that he cannot be hurt by such an explosive attack. If Samart partied less and trained more, we would be looking at the most dominant Thailand boxer of all time. In MMA, there are also fabulously evasive fighters too. The three most untouchable fighters are Israel Adesanya, Anderson Silva, and Michael Venom Page. All of them are tall, lanky fighters who can switch hit from both stances. They all have fantastic control of the long range, while being able to put their opponents to sleep with one shot. Usually it's a counter shot from forcing their opponents to make a mistake. This is made possible with superior footwork and superior vision. They are incredible at closing the distance quickly and getting out just as fast when the opponent tries to counter. Strength is not a focus in any of these untouchable fighters. Instead, they focus on speed and timing. They are simply technically and tactically superior to their opponents. The long reach and height relative to their opponents also gives them superior leverage in both striking and grappling. As you can see in many of their fights, taunting is a big part of these fighters' tactics. This is because once they know their opponent is angry, the emotion will cloud their judgment. Once they charge forward, it gives them a perfect opportunity to counter-strike for a knockout blow. This is why the Untouchables are always the superior counter-fighter. While many think the Untouchables are arrogant and wish for their defeat, what most people don't understand is that they play mental warfare for great reasons. The untouchable archetype usually ridicule their opponents to not only win the fans and the judges, but also to establish dominance in the opponent's mind. Once their opponent becomes emotional, they become extra unpredictable and extra tricky. Once they gather enough information, they're able to read their opponent like a book. They make you think you'll be getting hit with one shot, and when there's a defensive attempt, they hit you with a different shot. This is how fighters like Anderson Silva can land such unorthodox techniques, such as the Ong back elbow, a move he learned from the movie. The move was so unorthodox that his coaches refused to train this move in fight camp, so he practiced it only with his wife. Of course, all of these fighters have lost, but when they are performing at their best, they seem like untouchable gods. But in the art of fighting, everyone is beatable. There isn't an easy solution to beat any of them. But history has shown us some tactics and strategies that can work. In the future, we will explore what they are. What do you think of the untouchable style? Do you enjoy it when they get knocked out? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this episode, please support us by watching another one. I'm Lawrence Kenshin, and thank you for keeping our channel alive.